All right, you guys should be able to hear me now. We ain't went live yet, but I'm just doing a little test real quick. Just a little test. Let me make sure you guys can hear them when I do. All right, can you hear me? Hold up, my brother's calling me. Jesus Christ. What's going on, you guys? Let me go ahead and switch. Hey, Death, are you there? Let me, for some reason the filter's not on you. Alright, try to talk now.
Alright, what up?
Alright, so you're good. Let's go ahead and just do the transition. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here. We're coming at you for another Addict show. I don't know what happened to J-Dub. I'm sure J-Dub will be here momentarily. He took a phone call or something. So I'm sure he will be here in a couple minutes. This is pretty much the pre-show. We're going to talk for probably 10, 15 minutes until J-Dub comes out of the bushes, wherever he might have went. Tell people what you're doing, Death Singer. I'm sure people want to hear from Death Singer.
Well, what am I doing? The new ranked season for League of Legends, Persona 5 Royal on PlayStation. I mean, nothing grandiose.
How have you been feeling about the Persona 5? I thought you were a PlayStation man, an Xbox dude, man. I thought you couldn't talk about PlayStation. Isn't that the rules, man? You can only do one.
See, that would have been the rule. But, ever since, I transitioned onto PC, the rules have changed,
Oh, the rules have changed.
The rules have changed, and
PC Master Race.
PC has opened my eyes to the bigger picture. It made me a new person.
Oh,
I came
God.
in. So, I was like, I want to play Persona 5. It's not coming to PC at the moment, so I'll grab a PlayStation and, get about my business.
That's what's up. And I think I hear J-Dub. Is that you, J-Dub? Apparently, maybe not.
The one and only.
So how have you been doing, J-Dub? Besides the Twitter harassment that you do.
Been doing good, man. Been doing good. Just playing a ton of games and just watching the news, seeing what's going down in these YouTube and Twitter streets. And that's it, man.
Yes, it's definitely been a thing, man. It's been a thing. So, obviously we're gonna go ahead and talk straight into this. I was trying to get some stuff going on, but I guess it's not gonna work the way I originally intended it to. That is my bad, but it is what it is. I'll have that fixed next time. So first thing we're going to talk about, we have a couple different things. I'm going to pick the first topic, and I'll let you pick the second, J-Dub. So I don't know why, and I have no clue, but for some reason, Death Singer wanted to talk about this. So this is Death Singer. This is his influence. Addict didn't choose this. He wanted to talk about Nintendo's Animal Crossing hit 30 million says, and he wants to know, J-Dub, why ain't no PlayStation game got that high? Go.
Oh man.
So hold on. Let's let Death Singer get, because I know we about to murder him, because I'm about to murder him with you. So first off, Death Singer, what is these these arguments that you want to present to J-Dub, and you want him to defend his PlayStation honor. We're gonna call it PlayStation honor, okay, J-Dub? Is that fine? Is that fine with you, J-Dub? All right, so we're gonna call it PlayStation honor. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want to present to him, Death Singer.
What I would like to present is this argument. The news came out that, Nintendo has been doing exceptionally well, in all categories.
So you had to put exceptionally at the beginning of that. Okay, I got you.
Okay, and much respect has to be put on their name for what they're doing. And I saw something posted by Benji Sales, shout out to him, a little interesting tidbit where Animal Crossing is the only exclusive all time, regardless of any time in history, that has done 30 million units in a calendar year. And I was, I weighed up the news, I did a bit of research, and then I was kind of confused because I was, this kiddie game, classed as, managed to do what none of these AAA bangers.
AAA bangers. Is that what we're going with? AAA bangers.
Platform,
Look how extra he's sounding right now.
These most awarded Game of the Year games of all time. They can't seem to get their numbers up. So I'm just, it's a curiosity of mine. It's, I'm not singling out any platform. I'm, just putting it out there.
Man.
So what do you have to say about that? Like, pretty much he's saying I got to reorganize it because he had a lot of information there and nobody wants to go through all that. So he's saying, yo, J-Dub, why is it that Nintendo can make a 30 million plus game sales, but Xbox and PlayStation can't?
Oh man. Well, you know what? That's actually a good question, but here's the thing, and this is my reasoning behind it, and maybe, some of you guys disagree, but people look at the Switch as being a mobile platform. Therefore, the mobile platform is competing with games like Candy Crush and the Tinky Winkies on the cell phone and stuff like that. So 30 million.
Did you call it the Tinkly Winklies?
The Tinkly Winkly. So that is, what I'm saying? So, kudos to Nintendo for being able to, hang in there with Candy Crush and some of those other games. But in the big leagues, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to PlayStation Nation, but they run the streets, and they're the hard. A lot of that is the hardcore. Or some people call it hardcore, but yeah, so you got Spider-Man, you got God of War, you got Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us, and those games all selling 20 million plus. On top of Ghost of Tsushima, I think it's right there too. So, so you got to realize that it's just two different fan bases. Nintendo is legendary. I don't think anybody, Sony, Microsoft, Google, whoever, is going to be able to do what Nintendo does. They kind of venture in their own lane. Nintendo is like the stamp of approval for any and all gamers, and they have their own lane. They don't go for the high end leagues of gaming. They just kind of go with their mobility route now, and so I'll leave it at that. That's good. They run the streets when it comes to mobility. They do, and they're unmatched in it. I don't think Nintendo or Microsoft are ever going to do another mobile platform or anything like that. They couldn't compete. They've outdid any and every competitor that came in that league. So, yeah.
And I think when he brought this up, I was kind of like joking, but I think what a big thing it has to do with is look, this game clearly is for the casual consumer, and it's for the casual consumer. It's for the people that literally have zero knowledge of what's going on in the gaming industry. They don't even play Call of Duty. They don't play Madden, they don't play nothing. It's targeted a lot for the younger audience too. And one of the biggest things is when it comes to consoles, it comes to the PlayStation, the Xbox. Most of the time, you have one or the other in a household besides people such as yourself, J-Dub. I know you got 8 of them, but that's besides the fact. Most people got one of these consoles and one of these consoles only. When you get a big family of people, let's say mom and dad got 8 kids, all 8 kids can have a Switch. And all 8 kids can have a copy of this damn game. So, that's why the Switch does so well, because It's the perfect second console, and it's portable. And that's just how it is. You can't take nothing away from that. And I think as long as this goes, the Switch, I honestly think the Switch is going to outsell the PS2. That's just my honest opinion, because it's been one of the very few consoles that, I mean, look at last year. This game literally had nothing last year. Nothing. And it sold so well. But that's besides the fact. Is there anything else we need to talk about this death? Come on, man. Can we move on now?
Yeah, we can move on. That was very well answered. Very well answered.
Yeah. What was my answer? Was it spot on, or was it okay, or do I need to damage control some more?
I don't know, Death.
It was a great, make a great politician. That was a great politician's answer.
There you go. My job is done.
All right, so now let's get to the real topics. All right, let's get that. That was the warm-up topics, man. So this is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to give you an option, Jada. I'm going to let you pick. We're going to give you the options of what you want to talk about first. We're going to talk about either the MLB coming to Xbox, which I know, you love that game, right, JW? You buy it every year.
Yeah,
it's one of the favorite games you play. They got thousands of hours in every year, right? Is that what's going on here?
Indeed. Yes.
All right,
indeed.
or we could talk about the Xbox Series X running worse multiplats. What do you prefer? We're talking about the both, but I'm giving you the option of which one we talk about first.
Well, you know what? I don't want to. We talked about Nintendo. We talked about Sony a little bit. Let's talk about Xbox.
Oh, so you want to talk about the Xbox Series X runs worse multiplats? Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely.
So you want to get messy before we get serious? Is that what's going on?
Let's go ahead and get it out.
All right, man. We could do that. All right. So obviously, throughout the entire marketing plan of this game, there was one thing that was very apparent, very clear. Is this console is stronger out of the two. One of the biggest things that was going on is that was a huge marketing term. Microsoft was not shy whatsoever. I mean, I think they had that saying, it eats monsters for breakfast, etc., etc. But it looks like there's multiple games. Not just two, multiple games that the PS5 is outperforming the Series X. Now, it's kind of subjective what's going on, like certain parts of the game. I don't know if it's necessarily the whole game as a whole, but I do know there are certain areas in almost every game you could think of multiplat that the PS5 is running better than the Xbox Series X. And I personally find this unacceptable. What do you feel, J-Dub? Put this out. Tell me exactly what's going on in the J-Dub's mind right now.
Let me tell you this, man. I was promised one thing. I was promised the world. And I'm not getting the world. I was promised the world's most powerful console. I was promised 12 T-flops, beasts from the West. And it's just ironic that just so happened, the 9 T-flops, the RDNA 1 console is outdoing the bigger one. The big guys. So it's ironic. Put it like that. So it's ironic.
Let me set this up a little bit. What do you say to the people that say the tools aren't updated? Which it's been completely confirmed that there are some tools that's not out yet. The tools aren't completely updated, and the dev kits were sent out late. What do you say about the statements that are counterparting your statements? What do you say about those?
Will say this: when you launch the world's most powerful, not only one but 2 consoles, right? And you go out there bragging about what this system is going to do and how it's going to kick ass and take names, and you come out and you start losing and you get your ass kicked, you can't say, oh well, I brought the wrong pair of shoes, or I shouldn't have ate before the basketball game. You can't come up with all these excuses, right? Did they not know that they were launching? Did Microsoft not know that they were launching a console? 2 consoles? Did they not know that beforehand? I'm just saying, did they not know that?
All right.
I mean, let's be fair about this. They had to know.
I will give you that. Now, shout out to the IOP. Definitely. Iron Lords Podcast. Go check it out every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I've been very vocal on there with this. I feel like if you're going and you're screaming to the moon every time you can, we have the strongest console. I expect the majority of the platforms to play better on that console. I expect the Hitmans to play better. I expect the Call of Duties to play better. I expect the Shikros to play better. I expect almost anything to play better. And I am very disappointed because, we'll go into a little bit from where I'm coming from as, an Xbox user. But I am disappointed that even sometimes it's still not acceptable because, that's all that they really, especially this game coming out with no exclusives really at launch. It was a lot of cross plays. And then, we'll get to Medium here in a couple minutes because I do want to briefly talk about Medium. And the fact that there are certain games that are running better on the PlayStation, even for a little bit, I find it acceptable. I don't care about the devs. I don't care about anything. I'm the consumer. And when I see a console that I was promised to run very good, it kind of disappoints me that it doesn't. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a make it or break it thing, but I do feel like I wasn't got what I was promised in terms of how the game's performing. Now, the game still performs amazing, because guess where I came from, J-Dub?
Yes, sir.
I came from the Xbox One S.
Yes,
So
sir.
anything is playing better than what it is playing now. But and it's like I said, it's not a deal breaker. I do feel like they are giving us a quality performed game. It's just I feel like certain areas of the game definitely needed to be worked on a little bit more, need more optimization. But I don't feel like neither console are running these games at a bad fidelity. I don't think they're running them performance-wise bad. I don't think they're running them graphics-wise bad. I just think certain areas, for some reason, are running harder on the Series X. And I don't know why. I'm not a developer. I don't claim to be a developer. But I am kind of curious to exactly what's going on there. Now, let's... What?
I'll say this. It wouldn't really be a big deal, right? If a lot of the fans, including Microsoft, executives themselves had touted the better version of the multiplats. I mean, it's literally on almost on the box of the brochure of Xbox. The games are going to run better. They're going to look better. It's going to have all of this stuff. And when it doesn't happen, then people scratching their heads. Now, I get it. Some people say the tools aren't ready. We got to wait for the tools. But my whole rebuttal to that is, what do you think Sony's doing? You think they're just sitting on their laurels, not advancing their tools? Do you think that they're just going to sit back?
They clearly are. But all I was pointing from you is the standpoint is both consoles came out first, and obviously it's not any secret. Devs have came out openly and said that Microsoft didn't send these out, and that's Microsoft's fault. Microsoft took too long to validate and confirm what's going in the box. That's why the dev kits were made later, and that's why developers got them later. But to me, if you're going to promote this box as the strongest, you should have at least the platforms that's coming out, the third-party games that are coming out, the holiday, and maybe the year after. You should have made those on lock, and you should have really opened up. We don't even know. They could be sending devs to try to help, fix these versions of the Xbox. And it's like, I don't want people thinking that the Xbox Series X version runs like dog shit, because it doesn't. It runs great. But there are scenarios where the Xbox Series X is running worse than the PS5. And to me, I find that unacceptable. When you buy a better graphics card, you expect that graphics card to run console games, not console games, but to run it generally better. So when you're running something, and let's say the version behind you, now I don't know the difference in power when it comes to graphics card, but when I see something like this, I expect maybe a 980 and a 980 Ti, or, obviously you get what I'm saying, like the difference between the regular version and the Ti version. Now, I'm assuming that that's a bigger gap than what's with the Xbox One and the the PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
It's a 2 T-flop difference. So that's it's on paper, it looks to be big. In real world performance, I don't know. It really just depends on a variety of things. It depends on tools. It depends on, the operating systems, the memory speed. It depends on the SSD. It depends on everything working in unison, and everything has to work in unison. You just can't say, okay, here's a video card. Now this PC is going to run super duper fast. not realizing you have a bottleneck in your
And I
CPU,
I
memory,
think
and everything
that
else.
was the biggest issue. Is like, I understand, and I completely. I am a believer that a lot of this has to do with the dev kits being late, but at the same time, it's like that's not the dev kit's faults. That's not the dev's faults. That's not the publisher's faults. It's Microsoft's faults, and they shouldn't have pushed so. I mean, at the end, can you really say they shouldn't have pushed something so hard? Because that's what their job is. They're trying to sell product. Technically, on paper, it is the stronger product, so it should have done everything it is. But they knew for a fact that the dev kits weren't out in the time it took to really take advantage of the dev kits and the tools to make sure it ran the best. What do you say about this deal, Death Singer? What do you feel about the Xbox Series X having worse multiplats?
It is unacceptable when you've been touting the world's most powerful console. You know, they've been on that hype train for ages, and now it comes out that actually, regardless of the reason, it's not the most powerful console because it's running these games slightly worse than a weaker console. So it's not the best look in the world. They need to change the wording. Hopefully they go back to the most powerful Xbox ever, because that'll be accurate. But yeah, it's just unacceptable. There's no reason why it should. If you're claiming the most powerful, be the most powerful out the box.
So is that all you have to say about that, man? Is that all?
Yeah, because
Well,
it's not
I agree.
because
I agree with him.
since I don't own, these next gen consoles, it's not really a me issue.
Yeah.
And I definitely understand that. It's like I said, man. Like me coming from the Xbox One S, it's like candy to me. It's like this stuff runs
Yeah.
fantastic. I remember me playing Gears 5, and Kid Smith was on the Xbox One X, and I was on the Xbox One S.
Yeah.
And the loading screens, Kid would load in significantly faster. So Kid's already in the game, but the actual game isn't designed to where if you load in, what happens? It's normally both players got to load in, then the game starts. You know what I'm saying? But Kid would load in so much faster than I would. Kid would load in, it would start the game, and then about 40 seconds later, I would load in. But the enemies are still attacking. So I'm literally on a loading screen, and Kid's got to protect me before I come into the game. And that's why I don't like this Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X thing. Now, I know there's a good chance that none of this is going to happen because the CPU is the same on both. But to me, I'm having Xbox One S flashbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why I didn't even mess with that Xbox One S. I went straight to the X. So we got a $5 super chat from Thadarios. Like, dude, I definitely butchered that. I definitely apologize. You guys know I can't pronounce stuff, but we're going to move on with that. The solution is never buy a new console at launch. Wait 2 years. Now, I definitely agree with you. You could definitely wait to get all the kinks. I know that the Xbox One and the PS5 were having heating issues. So I mean, the PS5 had some disc issues too, didn't it? I think the Xbox did. I don't know. I didn't have any issues with that. But to me, personally, I couldn't wait 2 years. That's a long time to wait for a new console. Now I understand if you have that much, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-control. All power to you, man. But I can't do that.
Unfortunately, some of us have to wait that long because there's absolutely no stock to be had, and I am not paying a scalper for a new console.
And you know what?
I agree.
I sat out there for that 18-hour line, man. I sat out for that 18-hour line. I got zero sympathy for you, Death. You could have had that if you wanted to. I don't care what you have to say. And don't say I couldn't do that. I'm guaranteed I'm at least 5 to 8 years older than you, and I still was able to do it. So stop with that nonsense.
Yeah. There's no way in the world I'm waiting for anything.
So hold on.
I gotta have it day one.
That's a good way to get into our next topic. One of the biggest things that I expected, and I even talked to people in the industry, is that the short supply would start, really picking up around February, March, into April. I don't know if I got those. I'm pretty sure that's the way the months go. We ain't going into that. All right, so I expected it to pick up when we have more access to these consoles, but we haven't. It's looking like, some people think that we're going to have this for a few more months to maybe even the rest of the year. Do you think if Xbox and the Xbox Series X and S and the PS5 disc and discless versions that are this hard to get. When do you think it's going to start clearing up, J-Dub, to where we could just go into a GameStop, go into a Walmart, go into a Target, and just pick these up right off, no issues, every day of the week? When do you think that's going to happen?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's going to be for quite some time. Even AMD, the creator of the chips that goes into these consoles, they're saying that they still haven't ramped up full speed. They're still going to be short. They're trying to do everything they can, but unfortunately, we're in a global pandemic, and so people are still social distancing. A lot of people aren't at work. Manufacturing plants and stuff like that are not at full staff. So until that stuff gets ramped up, man, we may not see, a day where you can just walk into the store and gradually buy an X Series X or S or a PS5, maybe until the end of the year. I hate to say it, but if you didn't pre-order your PS5 or your X Series S back in last September, I think is when the pre-orders took, August to September or whatever, whenever the pre-orders took place, it's a hard sale. Some people, unfortunately, they're gonna have to bite the bullet and start looking on eBay and start, doing what they don't like to do to be able to procure one. It's just not gonna happen. There's nothing Sony or Microsoft can do to make that. They can't fix that problem. That's not their problem. That's a manufacturing problem, per se. But to be honest, on top of these shortages, these guys are still able to break records and sell out 100% of their stock. So that's good, right? That means there's a lot of gamers out there willing to spend money in a global pandemic. So, hey, it is what it is.
And I honestly think that even if the pandemic didn't happen, I think we would still be seeing something similar. I think the only difference is, right now we would have some free stock going up, and not in like 5 months. Because usually at the beginning of a generation, you might be able to walk into a Walmart, or you have to go to a couple stores, but you could get one day one if you really, really tried. But most of the time, even if you really tried, sometimes you couldn't get one. I know that scalping is an issue. So, I think one of the biggest things that is the difference between now and then is that they're trying to stay away from going to the store as much as possible because of the pandemic. So they're not doing much, walk in and buy stuff. They're doing a lot of online, and that's giving the scalpers complete open season because they know exactly what to do if it's online. When it comes to obviously me and J-Dub can only talk from a USA kind of standpoint, but we don't really have, me personally, I don't know if J-Dub has a lot of friends across the sea, but Death Sinker, you are in the UK. Can you walk into a store? I don't know what your Walmart's called. I don't know what your Target's called, but I'm sure it's called something. Can you walk into your equivalent of these stores and say, "Yo, I want that Xbox," and walk right out?
No, there's none in Europe. I have friends in Germany, friends in France, Italy. There is not a in the past 3 months, they had just one chance, and it sold out within 5 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
That is literally it. There is none in Europe. Like, America is getting more than us. Clearly. Europe is completely dead. And people have been saying, oh, you probably until the end of 2021. Maybe. That's a beginning of 2022. Things will probably start looking, okay, I could walk into a store and maybe get one.
It's not looking like that either, to be honest with you. It's looking like we're honestly going to be fighting for these consoles for a while.
Yeah.
But fortunately, thanks to I have a PC, I don't really have to worry about procuring an Xbox because I got a way to play the games without needing the console. So.
See, look at that, J-Dub. Xbox knew this was going to happen, so they let you get access to their games on PC. So they knew this wouldn't be an issue on PC. I guess PlayStation do that too, J-Dub, because they letting you buy that Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. They were kind enough to give us MLB The Show. So let's go ahead and go over that. MLB The Show was coming to Xbox, and I'm assuming PC. Is it confirmed for PC, or is it just Xbox at the current moment?
It's confirmed just for Xbox, but it wouldn't shock me. I mean, right now it's wide open. They can put it on anything if they wanted to. So yeah, it's most likely it's coming to PC.
So how do you
At
feel
some time.
about this? I know you've had very open opinions on this very subject. How do you
Yeah.
feel about this right now? Knowing that there's a difference between them announcing it and now we're seeing box art of that Sony label on an Xbox case.
Yeah, seeing that PlayStation Studios logo on an Xbox game. I'm gonna be honest. At first, I was like, okay, what's going on? And then when I figure out, well, they had to renew the MLB license, and MLB said that they wanted to, open their license to more users and stuff like that. So, MLB was a big moneymaker for Sony. So either you lose the license and lose the money, or you open it up, put it on various different platforms, and make more money. So it was a win-win situation. Me, as a MLB player every year since its inauguration,
Inauguration, is that what we're calling it? The inauguration?
Yes, we're calling it inauguration.
Is that what day 0 is right now?
That's exactly what day 0 is, inauguration. But I'll have access to be able to play my Xbox friends and stuff like that, which is great, right? I think that's good. We finally got crossplay. We finally got a lot of these other things that Sony's been against for so long. This is a good thing. Now, when it comes to sports titles and stuff like that, being honest, I think all that stuff should be kind of open, especially the crossplay thing. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. I'm excited. I'm ready to play my Xbox homeboys in some MLB. Xbox hasn't had a baseball game since I think the 2K baseball game or EA. I mean, man, it's been a long time since they've had a true baseball simulation on Xbox. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. No doubts from me. I'm all for it.
Sorry about that. My mic was messing up a little bit. I definitely understand. Like, look, to me, when it comes to MLB, I feel like they were going to lose those. I feel like that MLB kind of figured they weren't going to go for it. I think this has always been a fight for the bag. And I think MLB knows that their license is better spent on multiple consoles because they can get more money. And I think that originally this probably was one of those scenarios where they're going to ask Sony a question they knew the answer to. Like, yo, would you make this for another console? And how Sony's always operated, I bet you they thought it was going to be a no. But then, it's hard to tell. For all we know, it could have been a no at first. And then Sony started thinking, am I really about to lose this bag just because I'm not going to give a sports game to the competition?
Yes, absolutely.
And it was like, then let's just design it for the Xbox and maybe the PC, and hell, even maybe the Switch in a little bit. I
hope so. I hope so, because I'll definitely get it on the Switch.
And it's like, let's get some extra money. I think that's exactly what happened. I don't, a lot of people attack them for this. A lot of people say that, they would prefer MLB to go away before.
Let's not give these numbnuts any energy, man. Let's face it. There's a bunch of extremists out there that go through extreme levels of moronic thoughts. Nobody would ever say that they would rather have a game go away just because other people get access to it. Let's face it. It's a sports game. Listen, when it comes to sports games and stuff like that, the more people you have to play it, the better the experience is.
And it's crossplay. That's crazy.
Yes.
It's crossplay.
Yes.
And Sony made it, and it's crossplay. You know what?
Yes.
I gotta hand it off. Let's give a shout out to the real goats of last gen, the real VIP, Fortnite. Fortnite literally came out and was like, and Sony, the iconic Sony, the people who own everything gaming right now, the people who are on top of the world gaming, they're like, nah, we don't care. Like, you gonna put our stuff on everything, and you gonna let our people switch their accounts, or we ain't messing with you. And then they're like, and then obviously Sony originally, you know, they try to revolt, they try to be rebels, but
They
then
held
that Fortnite following butchered them, and then they caved, and because Sony finally caved, because I feel like it was the domino effect. When you had Fortnite cave, Call of Duty, they were like, then everyone came together. Yo, this is bullshit. Why can they do it but not us? We just as big as Fortnite in a different way, I would say Call of Duty is. I wanted that. So I think that when that happened, it was a chain reaction. It was the Call of Duties that went, then the random games that went, then the Epic Game Store went. It was pretty much everything Epic Game Store had. And then before you know it, that weird PvP game went. Then Apex went. Like I gotta realize, I know a lot of people don't like Fortnite. I know a lot of people see that as like casual trash, but regardless how you feel about the game, we really have to give it to them that they might not necessarily are the sole reason that this happened. Because Sony was already doing this to a point, but they were never doing it with Xbox. But they forced the progression to have this done way faster. And now we're having MLB being made by Sony and endorsing and letting crossplay happen without Twitter jumping on their ass. Like,
yeah, it's you listen, it's one thing to have how can I say it? It's one thing to have a baseball game versus something like God of War or Spider-Man or Uncharted. That's a whole different thing. You'd have seen, there would have been chaos going on.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, look at the end.
This is different.
I was like, look at the end.
This is equivalent. This is equivalent to, I would say, Minecraft being on everything, right? It's equivalent. It's sports. It's give it. It's like having 2K. 2K is on everything. Like, why not have it?
So we got a new challenger, man. I didn't know if I wanted to invite BitCloud Gaming in here because we got him a man's J-Dub outnumbered, but now we brought another one of J-Dub's people in here to back him up. Facts. I guess I'm joking, but hey, what's going on, BitCloud?
My brother
J-Dub will tell you, I'm kind. I'm very kind. I've come here to your channel with the contract.
The contract.
I'm gonna need you to sign. I'm gonna need you to sign the PlayStation contract.
Man, I'm fine.
It's time to leave.
Sign that
good.
Let's sign. Sign on line 37.
No, I'm good, man. That contract doesn't exist to me, man. Like contract.
Oh, it exists, bro.
But BitCloud, do you want to sign my contract?
It's time.
Let's come over here and you sign my contract, man. My contract's got a really nice green pen. It's got a coupon to Target. We can work something out.
I mean, what's the good as a coupon when I can't use it for games?
Man, you could use it for Game Pass.
Oh no,
man.
There's nothing on that neither.
Oh, there's plenty on Game Pass. You just ain't looking, man. You just ain't looking. All right, so obviously, do you have anything to say about MLB coming to Xbox, BitCloud?
Not really, but it was weird. I mean, obviously, I know Jay probably talked about it, like you see the PlayStation Studios logo on an Xbox game case.
Yes,
that's the only thing weird because it makes you look at it kind of makes you remember the whole Xbox Game Studios debacle, and then it has their games on PC. That's the only thing that might rub people the wrong way with it. As far as MLB going to Xbox, I'm actually okay with it because let's just face it, there hasn't been a good baseball game on Microsoft for the longest.
For a long time, yeah.
They need it. And honestly, if you really love MLB and you want to see MLB thrive, it needs to be on multiple platforms. That's one game I would legit say needs to be on multiple platforms.
And I feel like, it's a baseball game, guys. Like, let's be real. Like, I'm not going to be ignorant and say that this had zero to do with any of the sales that happened on PS4. I'm sure there's plenty of people that bought this just for MLB, but I'm not convinced it was a high percentage. People bought PlayStations for the God of Wars, for the Uncharted's, for the Fortnite things, for the Call of Duty marketing deals, and then like, MLB's on here too. It was a second thought. I'm sure there are people on that was like, I'm gonna play MLB, I'm gonna play Madden, and I'm gonna be good. But I don't think it was such a huge number that's going to automatically swell all these people to not buy a PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what Benji Sales, the analyst, said about MLB. I asked him a quick question. I was like, how much do MLB games typically sell each year? And he replied, he said quite a lot. MLB The Show 20 finished as the 18th best-selling game of 2020 in the U.S., and that's out of thousands of games that were released last year. That game is generally, it averages 85, 86, 87 Metacritic every year since its inception. So it's not about the quality or anything like that. The game, to me, I think it averages maybe 3-4 million a year. That's for them. Now they're going to get access, right? And I say access because it depends on what other platforms they put it on. But Microsoft, if you're an Xbox guy, you're going to have to pony up the $70 and buy the game. And it's worth it. It's a great game. It's worth it. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, all my Xbox friends, it's cross-play. So, you get to play me. You get to play your PlayStation friends and stuff like that. Go out and support this game because, don't you want other games to start coming to your platform? So if you don't support this game, then you can't cry that I don't get baseball or I don't get hockey or I don't get whatever else that you probably don't get on the Xbox platform.
It's the same thing I've always said about JRPGs. Like, I still haven't got to Yakuza. I plan on doing it eventually. I've been streaming a lot more, so I might stream the game. I don't know yet. But, like, I bought that because I want I want to show the interaction. I want to show that, I can't do it myself. Everyone in the chat, man, go buy Yakuza on Xbox. But, I want to show that, if you put these on this platform, people will buy it. It's just, you got to try it. Like, you can't just give us year-late games and expect people to play it because they've already seen it on YouTube. Their favorite Twitch streamers already streamed it. They're not going to buy it at that point. So,
exactly.
like Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Remake 2. Remake. None of that's going to sell okay on Xbox, but it might do 1 million. It might. And it's sad because those games sold very well on PlayStation because they were there day and date. And I don't care what no one says. Microsoft failed me as a Final Fantasy fan for making sure that Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake is now on my platform when I wanted to play. So guess what I had to do? I had to go buy a damn PlayStation. So, they made that choice for me. And I think they need to be more proactive to making sure these games come out. And people say, well, how do we know what happened behind closed doors? I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but you know what I know happened? I didn't get the damn game. That's all that matters to me. Like, but I got I'm not like a lot of these other people. Guess what? I walked my happy ass over. Well, people call me Grizzly Adams. I walked my Grizzly ass to Walmart and I bought that damn PlayStation and then I played Final Fantasy 7 Remake. If it comes out on Xbox, will I probably buy it there? I don't know. I've already beat it on PlayStation. But we'll see how I'm feeling when it comes out. If it's for a full 60 bucks, probably not. Microsoft's best chance is to get that sucker in Game Pass day one. But but that's besides the fact. So, I haven't really got Death Singer. I want to get Death Singer on this because we know Death Singer's Death Singer. And I want Death Singer. What is your opinion on
Death Singer signed the contract, bro.
MLB, I ain't signing no contract. The only contract I've already signed a contract with Gabe Newell. And it's done. It's set in stone. The contract's good for 10 years. So once the 10 years happens,
I thought it was 30 years. See, look at you.
Well, I only got 10 years. It is what it is. God. It's probably because he saw me as a refugee from Xbox. It was like, I'll give you a hand me out.
Yeah.
But MLB is great. That's a win for baseball fans because baseball fans, there's loads of baseball fans and they go mad for baseball.
You know what's crazy, Death Singer? Every time someone asks for, we want MLB, Xbox fans. I don't care about baseball, but I know a lot of people do. And they'll be like, I see a lot of people be like, we have baseball games, and they'll point out the most backwood, low budgeted shit I've ever seen in my life, acting like people want to play that shit. I'm like, no, people want quality baseball game. They don't want to play something where you press a button and you have a fireball or an ice ball. I don't know what that's in those games, but that's what I see when I see those games. Continue, Death Singer.
So it's a win for baseball fans no matter where you are because There's tons of them. I've seen them on. They go mad for baseball. Granted, it's probably not the most popular sports game out there. You know, there's not as many baseball fans as there are like FIFA or Madden, but it's just great. It's great for the gamers. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. You got your crossplay. You got, I mean, hey, have fun with it.
So
you can't complain. You can't go at Sony over this.
So
it's a win.
Solmo got a little. He got a little smoke for you, Death. Got a little smoke. Just a little smoke. All you have to do is put a little water on it. It'll go completely out, man. It's that easy. He says, Singer told me the DualShock 4 was the best controller he has ever put his hands on. How do you feel about that statement? Are you feeling that statement?
All right, Slow-Mo. All right, I'll go clip it off the.
I told you he signed the contract. He's trying to fight it.
I'll go clip it off the. I'll clip it off the Scumcast to prove my point. I thought the DualShock 4 was garbage. I put it in my hands, and it's a good controller. It's not as good as the Xbox controller, because nothing will feel as good as that controller in my hands. But the DualShock 4 is a very nice controller. So just to clear that up.
That's your statement. Okay. So you have stated that you like the DualShock 4 just for the audience. You have stated that.
I have stated that. Okay, that is my official stance.
So I do got to point a little bit at BitCloud. He keeps saying you signed the contract. Did you sign a contract with BitCloud Gaming?
I signed a contract with Gabe Newell. That's my final answer.
All right. So okay. Now since we've talked a little about the MLB, obviously there's the big.
Remember, Addict. I'm kind. Just remember.
Obviously, there's a big statement. Is MLB the only game that's obviously? I don't think games are coming to Xbox. I don't. But there's always been that stigma going around that there's more PlayStation games that's at the very least is going to go to Steam, and the Epic Game Store. Do you think that we'll see more of those this year sometime? I'm going to start with BitCloud.
Look at the damn early signs. I mean, shit. They immediately, we want to keep it a buck, right? Same energy, like Xbox Game Studios, right? Now we have what? PlayStation Studios. So they got their branding right. They got their whole new play in the works, you think about it, right? So honestly, it is definitely possible that you'll see more going to PC. I mean, they already got the whole Final Fantasy thing right now.
Yeah.
So I can see games going there. Now the question is which ones. Obviously when they put Horizon on PC, I looked at it like this, right? I thought it was to get more eyes on Horizon 2 if it was well received on PC. However, though, many people, again, they want more. So on some real, what goes on?
So what do you feel, J-Dub? Because obviously you have been very vocal about this. You don't want to devalue your brand. Do you still very strong about that? Do you feel like that's still something that's a mistake, or have you calmed down a little bit on your stance about PlayStation games coming to the PC platform?
No, I think it really just depends. We know it's going to happen. They've said it was going to happen. They said the games that see fit. They actually created, from what I understand, a separate studio for those games to be able to come to other platforms and stuff like that. Well, PC rather. I don't know whether it's going to come to Xbox or not, but I don't think there's going to be a day and date thing, and I think that's what most PlayStation guys were worried about is, where if all these games are going to come day and date, to PC or something like that, then I might as well just go PC. That in itself will devalue your brand. As you can look right now, there's just a lot of guys are not going to buy a Xbox because guess what? They have a PC, and that's where they can get 100% of their games from. And so I do think we are going to get some PlayStation games to go to PC. I still think they're going to use that strategy. It's going to be older games. It wouldn't shock me to see God of War on PC. The first God of War, not Ragnarok. Horizon Zero Dawn going to PC. It came when they already announced they're working on part 2. So if it takes 2 or 3 years or 4 years to get a game to go to PC, why not give it to them? By the end, I forgot about that game. The game is old, and I got a sequel on the way anyway. So yeah. So I got no problem with that.
All right, what about you, Death Singer? What do you feel? Because you've been very vocal about you want all your shit on PC. You want the MLBs on PC. You want the Ghost of Tsushima on PCs. I definitely butchered that. No one needs to correct me in the chat. It's okay. We're moving on. You want the God of Wars on PC. You want the the Last of Us is on PC. How do you feel?
I feel that yes, they will. It's a great thing. These games come into PC to play, the best they've ever played, and it's like I played Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, I gave it a shot. I support it because I want PlayStation to bring more games to the PC. So I went out and supported Horizon, bought it day one, just like most people did that I know play on PC. All went out and supported because this practice is good for us. It's good for the consumers. Look at Persona 4 Golden. That was only on, was it the Vita or the PSP? Or that came and it sold like hotcakes. It did what, 500k? And Atlas were blown away by how the PC community came out and supported this game.
Yep.
So that secured future Persona titles to PC, guaranteed. They'll be like, okay, the market's there for it. So if Sony sees they're making bank and there's another revenue stream, look at the Final Fantasy 16 coming to PC, that Project Athia coming to PC. Like, people understand that, there is a huge market for these games on PC. So it's a win.
I need to correct you on that. Final Fantasy 16 is not coming to PC. It's PS5 exclusive. They corrected that.
When did they correct it?
The same day.
Wasn't this the one that said PC at the end of the trailer?
Yes, that's what I said. They corrected.
Dude had one job and he messed that up. I don't know about that, J-Dub. We'll have to see.
They got probably not.
We'll have to see if it actually
more
does.
likely timed. That's probably timed.
I'm not saying that it's definitely not an exclusive.
I think it's all timed. If you ask me.
Yeah, I think it's timed.
But I'm just telling you what that guy said. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on PC, so I'll be able.
It may be a year. It may be 2 years. We don't know, but eventually. That's stuff like that.
Until they say either way, because Square Enix are insisting it's only on PlayStation, but they'd have that mess up at the show. Now, I mean, did someone slip? That was supposed to be for another game. It's whatever.
Could be.
I mean, when they finally get around to re-showing the game, they might say, "Oh, by the way, it's coming to PC as well." Who knows?
Yeah.
Because their games, all the Final Fantasies sell great on PC, like Final Fantasy 14 and all the games. So there'd be no reason why they wouldn't want to put it on there. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a win for the consumers. Sony puts more games on PC. That's a win for me. That's a win for all the Steam users.
So let me ask you this question. So now that that's happened, can we say that that PC is part of the PlayStation ecosystem, like Xbox dudes be saying that PC is the Xbox ecosystem?
No. we can't say that because
Why not?
Sony doesn't have a store or anything on PC. They don't have a presence. The only presence they have on PC is going through either Steam, just like any third-party publisher. Well, I can't say that because Ubisoft have their own store, EA has their own store.
Yeah, but that could be changed real quick.
Yeah.
Well, if Sony,
they already lied to us earlier too. That's one thing a lot of people need to forget. Like, don't need to forget. Like with when they said PS5 is going to have its own separate exclusives or whatnot, and then like the main games that they advertised as PS5 only, we're going to PS4.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some shit you gotta look at in the long run. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be that guy and say don't listen to them.
Yeah.
But I would say take everything
with a grain
don't
of salt.
take everything they say at face value at this point in time because they've already deceived you. Yeah.
I agree. The moment I saw Horizon Zero Dawn go to PC, I knew that it was just a matter of time before other games will come, and you just have to say, okay, this is it. This is where they want the bag. You can't get mad at them for wanting the bag, right? Sure,
exactly.
It's fun. It's fun for fanboy fodder, right? For just jokes and stuff on Twitter and YouTube. It's all fun, but if you're a business person, you got to understand the logic in that.
That's the issue, Jay. Like a lot of people think, us joking on Twitter or whatever, they think we're serious. like they don't know that a lot of us actually chill, talk to each other in game and whatnot. They don't know. And so this whole thing's a joke. But when it comes to like the longevity of PlayStation in general, Sony literally has just PlayStation, if you think about it, as their main source to go off of. And how do you get the most out of that source? You need more people on there. It's just how it's just how it goes down to. So looking at everything they're doing in the future, I mean, shit, it makes sense. Look at their main people they got now. All the people that we've known and loved for PlayStation have pretty much stepped down. Sean Layton's gone. Andrew House is gone. Which shocked the hell out of me, by the way. I wasn't expecting him to be gone so soon. Andrew House is gone. Sean Layton is gone. Adam Boyce.
Jim Dance Move Ryan is the best thing to
I
happen
still
to
can't believe we call
PlayStation.
this man Jim Dance Move Ryan.
He is the best thing to happen to PlayStation because he's broadening the ecosystem of PlayStation. He's doing what his predecessors probably wouldn't have even dreamt of doing.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Like,
I know a lot of people give him shit, right? Because of that, because he opened up the platform, or not platform per se, but some of the games, and he's making some of the moves. But those moves have brought, and I'm not a money counter, but it has, I don't know if you guys saw the numbers yesterday, but PlayStation has broken records yet again, not only with the sales and subscriptions, but with the amount of consoles that they have. It's matching the PlayStation 4, which, they've made $20 billion, the highest revenue generated by a gaming company ever in history. And so that has to speak volumes for something, right? So you got to take the fanboy hat off and realize, if you still want these big blockbuster bangers and Spider-Man licenses and shit to keep going on, you have to open your mind up to what they're trying to do to be able to provide that stuff.
Yeah, and I agree. Spider-Man's not cheap. The license is not cheap, which I think that's mainly a side thing that they did with the license for the movies.
With the movie license.
I think. I don't think that cost them too much, because I think the majority of that came was like, look, you can make the game
like
as long as we check on it, we make sure the game don't devalue Spider-Man. You good there? But can we use Spider-Man in the universe, man? We good? Can we do this now? Like,
it was basically a passion project. If y'all low key think about it, it started off as a passion project.
I agree. Now here's the thing, right? Because Addict brought up a great point about like Superman. Sony is synonymous with Spider-Man, right? That's not going anywhere. I think for the foreseeable future, that's going to be on Sony platform only. But Microsoft is opening up their wallets now to buy some more studios and do some more acquisitions and stuff. Forget about the studios. How about you get those licenses so we can get X-Men on Microsoft exclusively or something? Like, it's really kind of unfair as a Xbox gamer, whereas PlayStation got Spider-Man and like Xbox don't have any comic character to call its own.
Actually, you know what's crazy? I made a video that, hold up, someone's trying to call me on Facebook. Let me deny that, because I'm sure they heard that. I apologize for that.
Somebody heard you and they come in.
Well, I told my brother I was about to stream not to call me, man. And you know what does he do? He calls me. That's the kind of shit I be talking about. I tell you not to call me, and what you do, you call me. But we ain't going to that. We moving on. That's old news. Look, let's go into that a little bit, because that is the last topic we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all of these rumors that's going around that Microsoft is out for more blood. They want another publisher. There's actually a list of publishers that, not publishers, but individual things that they want to buy. I want to go through here. I want, first we'll go over the probability, the odds, the percentage that you think these developers, these publishers will get purchased, and then we'll go more in depth into the conversation about Microsoft buying publishers and developers in general. So first one, obviously, that is a huge rumor right now, is Sega.
That's why I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge going around. I actually got a video coming out tomorrow. Definitely be looking out for that, about why I think that this is true. You don't need to say anything else. Let's just go to percentage right now. All right? We don't need to argue, Death. Let's just go percentage. J-Dub, the percentage of Microsoft buying Sega. Go.
1%.
1%. Holy shit. Okay. All right, we
1%.
moving on. Okay.
It's
Big
a
Cloud.
non-starter. It's a
What
non-starter.
is the percentage of Microsoft owning Sega? Go.
I'm
Microsoft-
50-50 with Microsoft actually going and trying to buy them, honestly. Because you think about it, they made back on their investment from buying Bethesda. So I don't know. We'll see. I say 50.
All right. Dead Singer. What is
I'm gonna give it a good. I'll also agree 50-50 because with the announcement of Sega Sammy splitting in two, so you only have to own the studios. You don't have the.
You don't have to own the
they-
substairs.
Yeah, you don't. So you only have to take a chunk of the pie. You don't have to take the whole pie. So, and since they split in two, you only have to take half the pie. So I mean, if the money talks, so we'll
all
see.
right. So I'm gonna go 70-30. I do think there's a good chance this happens. There's been a lot of things that's going on, so we'll go ahead and break into. I don't want this taking too long. Give your brief statements on why you think it is or why you don't think that Sega is going to be purchased by Microsoft. Let me go first. I think that the way Sega's been moving has been weird lately. I think that the relationship between Microsoft and Sega has been weird lately. I think it's not a coincidence that every Yakuza pretty much is in Game Pass right now. And for the most part, when you see a Yakuza or anything come in Game Pass, what happens a few months, 6 months to a year later, BitCloud? It leaves.
What's up? Oh yeah.
Now, to my knowledge, has one Yakuza left Game Pass?
It has not.
So it's interesting for me to see that. Case number 2. For some reason, what's that the new one, Rise of the Dragon or whatever that's called, Yakuza. What's that game called?
Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon.
Yeah,
The next gen version is exclusive to the Xbox Series X right now. How did that happen? That's not something small. Like, how did they pull that off? That's why I feel like, and I made a video a few months ago because this came up at TGS, the Tokyo Game Show, and there's pictures of establishments removing Sega off of their buildings. Why is that happening? Like, there's just so much weird stuff going on. Now, it could mean a partnership. I said in my video on TGS, it could mean a partnership. But I'm starting to believe it might mean a purchase, especially with the Sammy and Sega separation. That seems like you prematurely do something like that before you buy the company.
Yeah.
So, J-Dub, tell me why you think a 1% chance that Microsoft buys Sega.
Yeah, 1%. Only because it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't think it fits anything. I don't think it fits Microsoft per se. That's just my thing.
But
like,
wouldn't that be a good thing? Because obviously,
it
they're
would be
lacking in the Japanese market. I feel like this is something they really need.
It would be a great thing. But
A
before,
lot of legacy titles.
yeah, it would be a great thing for Microsoft. Well, for the gamers per se. Now, here's the thing. I don't see the fan base actually going out and supporting that. I don't. I know you like your JRPGs and stuff like that, but the fan base, they just want the shooters. They just want from what I see, right? From the numbers that we've seen on the type of games these guys support and stuff like that, I just don't see it. I
definitely get that. All right, so BitCloud, I think you gave it a 50-50. Is there any particular reasons why you feel like it's a 50-50?
Just for the way they've been acting, the way certain games are still in Game Pass and not gone. And on top of all that, you gotta look at what Microsoft can gain from this type of purchase in general, right? Like legacy titles for the service and future franchises that they can actually push if they needed them. Because right now, we already know the situation. It's drastic for Microsoft. They need everything. Am I right?
I think right now their biggest thing that they're lacking is a Japanese presence. I think that's one of the reasons they get destroyed in Japan, obviously, and obviously there's more reasons because of, you know, a lot of them have went to the mobile market. I feel like that's why the xCloud was designed, because they're trying to penetrate that market. And I feel like if they go into that market with xCloud and they have a lot of JRPG, well, not JRPGs, but Sega's games in general, they have Bethesda's games. I think that could really open them up to that market. But at the end of the day, it's all speculation. We don't know what's going on. But
Sega makes House of the Dead, right?
Yeah, and they make
and Time Crisis.
I don't. And another thing, they make those Warhammer games.
Yeah,
what's ironically always going in Game Pass, like.
There's a whole bunch of the reason why I say 50-50 is for all the above reasons, but also they split up. It's good, like Microsoft and Sega work together. They play around a lot with their advertisements and on Twitter and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure, because if they could get like Yakuza exclusive, let's say, to the platform, then you bring over Persona. Those games are loved in Japan, like loved. I mean, massively loved. Like they had a custom Persona PS4 in Japan. Mm-hmm. That is their type of game. So with those games, like not necessarily Sonic. Plus, also if you look at Sega, they don't really release games. Like,
they don't.
How many games have they released over like the past 4 years? And it's like you could count it on your hand. I mean, so they're clearly not either doing well or
they remind me of they remind me of Konami right about now, right? They have some of the most beloved IPs, but they're not doing shit with them. And we got the Yakuzas, but let's face it, a lot of those games are rehashed or they're old and they just released. They just came to Xbox. Like all that stuff. PlayStation guys have had them and beat them years ago.
Okay, Okay, so
it's a good thing that finally Xbox guys get to play them and have them come to that platform. But I just still don't feel it. I still don't feel it. And what would it really do to change Xbox? It'll add a few more Yakuzas to it, which technically they were never really PlayStation exclusive. They just so happened came to the platform by default because that's where everybody like to play those games. I would like to see the stats of how many people are actually playing these games on Xbox. That's what I want to know, and then that'll let you know, hey, they need that or they don't.
All right, so we gave pretty much our opinion on the whole Sega thing. For those of you that want to know where I'm getting this list from, yes, I'm getting this list from the polls that Kid Smooth has posted. Sue me, because I do feel like a couple of these are logical and some of them might happen. I think there's a couple that definitely ain't happening. But the next one on the list, I'm going to go off the percentage on this poll of people who think is what is possible and what is not as possible, is Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a publicly traded company, may I add. I don't think this is possible at all, but this is just me. We got a $2 super chat from ATL. Does Atlas come with Sega? If they bought Sega, Atlas would come with Sega. Okay, so let's go into Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a publicly traded company. So that means it is way harder to make this happen than it would be the Bethesdas, the Segas, because I don't think Sega's a public traded company or Sammy. I don't think they're a publicly traded. I don't know, but all I know is Ubisoft's definitely a publicly traded company. What do you think the percentages of Ubisoft being bought by Microsoft is, Death Singer?
1%.
1%. And okay, I'm not gonna say no. Okay, J-Dub, what are the odds of Assassin's Creed coming to Game Pass day one because Microsoft bought Ubisoft?
0%.
0? You ain't even giving them a percent. Man, let them be on the table, J-Dub. Say 1%.
0%.
Damn.
0.1%.
Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. All right, Big Cloud. Gotta hear you, man. Gotta hear the opinion of Big Cloud about Ubisoft being bought by Microsoft.
Negative 50%. chance of them
Uh,
doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say 1% too. I don't see, like, I think this makes more sense than even Bethesda did, because a lot of Ubisoft games make more sense in towards of a a Game Pass model, because a lot of them are games with services, and there's nothing bad as a games with services, just they have to be good games with service, and the majority of them aren't good games with services that but I will say Ubisoft has good games as a service.
Plus, East Gimmont's already kind of like they kind of rebranded everything now. You think about it, because they have Uplay Plus, that
Yeah.
streaming thing they got going. So they kind of don't really need a partnership with Microsoft. Plus, they can fund their own stuff. They don't need
Yeah.
anything.
And the thing with Ubisoft is, even if, let's say, that 1% came true,
Mhm.
then Monopoly comes into play, because Ubisoft...
I don't know if that would be a monopoly though. I mean, we still have EA.
No, but it would be, because Ubisoft is one of the big
I get
publishers.
it, but
It really is, yeah. Like,
you got,
even if we
you
don't
got
like
EA, you got Activision. Like, there's still probably, you got THQ Nordic. There's still probably 5 huge quantities when it comes to just publishers.
But
well,
like,
true, but we're talking about in terms of like games that be launched and whatnot. A lot of them are from Ubisoft.
let's say, like, see, an EA or Ubisoft would be that they would instantly call monopoly, because they make so many games. They have how many games does Ubisoft put out over like 5 years?
Probably.
They put out at least 10, 15 games a year.
Right.
They put out a lot of games. Yeah.
They put out a ton of games. Like Ubisoft, kind of, you can get away with that, because Ubisoft is, Bethesda is a bit smaller. Like THQ
All right, so
Nordic, a bit smaller, but EA and Ubisoft are no-go zones.
let's back up. All right, let's back up a little bit. What are the odds of them making a partnership where their games come to Game Pass? We'll start with BitCloud.
You got what now?
Let's say they don't buy them. Let's say that Ubisoft costs too much money, man. They're a publicly owned company. You have to do some shady shit to get Ubisoft. Let's say they don't feel like doing none of that. So they're going to make an agreement with them trying to get their games come to Game Pass. What do you think the odds of that?
That would they would have to pay a massive cut to Ubisoft. That's for sure. They will ask for a crazy a crazy pay out of that to get those games in there. Plus, that means if they start doing shit like that and they actually do agree with it, that's when the servers really is going to start going up in price.
Yeah,
Because
it costs so much.
Mhm.
Let's take Assassin's Creed. They would have to pay equivalent to what that game probably would have sold on Xbox without Game Pass. They would have to pay that guaranteed upfront money, right, to have that into Game Pass. And plus, Ubisoft would still make its money off of PlayStation, off of PC, and and the Switch, and Stadia, and everybody else. So it could happen, but Microsoft would have to shell out a shitload of money. Even Benji Sell said that it's just not happening. It's not. There's no upside to Microsoft for doing that. They could take that money and go fund the game.
They could, and I think they definitely have a lot of money going out with these platforms they bought. When it comes to all the Bethesdas, they have a lot of money going out, and I personally feel like there's something with Ubisoft. Maybe they have some kind of migration going on where they get some of their older games. I don't think it's going to be none of those, day and date things. Now, Megatron in the chat,
not just that though. They gut most of their franchises to be like pay to win now. Look at Assassin's Creed. It never used to be this crazy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I think pay to win's a very strong term. Like you can
pay for the higher
you
gear
can, but
and
you can
level ups.
easily play the game and get just as much. You might not be able to get the cosmetic stuff, but you can easily play the game.
And that's what they're doing too. They hide all the legacy gear, like the outfits behind pay to wins, or you play points, stuff like that. Yeah.
Megatron brings up a point in the chat. Megatron says one of the things that we're looking at this wrong is we're looking at this like it's an Xbox thing. Clearly, as you can see, we can all agree Microsoft's not doing just an Xbox thing anymore. They're doing an ecosystem with xCloud, PC, Xbox, all these stuff. So he's saying that they would make. I don't know, Megatron. You put it in the chat if I'm misquoting you. I don't want to misquote you, but it seems like he's saying that they would do these things not just because it's Xbox, because they want to enrich the entire ecosystem as a whole. They want to get people in Game Pass on xCloud. They want to get people on Xbox. They want to get people on, PC or Windows Store, the Epic Store. They want to get them as a group into this system, paying them money monthly, or buying their games outright on the PC platform or on the Xbox platform. Do you think that gives them a little bit more incentive to actually buy these companies because they're trying to, really stack a portfolio that is, I mean, let's be real. They have the Ubisoft games, they have the Bethesda games, they have all the games they currently have. That would be a very good reason to get on Game Pass. Can we not agree?
That would be the issue is like the money. They have the money. They could do whatever the hell they want. If they want a partnership with Ubisoft, they can. It's whether will they pay?
My biggest issue
will those subscriptions? Will those 18 million subscribers? Right. That's a lot of them got their accounts. Whether it's a deal or not, right? That's irrelevant. But whether those 18 million Game Pass subscribers, whether that money that they got coming in, whether it's worth it, right? You're talking about what, $10 a month, $10 to $15 a month for Game Pass. Will that equate back to the profits that they will be able to pull off? It
seems like they're going the Amazon way, where they're doing a subscription service, and they're not, they're not trying to have multiple subscription services, which, they have the regular one, then they have the $15 with all of them together. It seems like they gave that as an option if you didn't want all the extra stuff. But to me, it feels like they're doing the Amazon way. It's like, do you want the Video Prime? Do you want the free overnight shipping? They're adding a lot of value into one service to encourage people to get it. Currently, right now, that's what they do with. I'm pretty sure they offer a subscription service with Microsoft Windows and stuff. Like, the whole company's doing a subscription service at this point. So I definitely want. Did you have something to say before we move on?
Is one thing on the Ubisoft thing. They could, in a way, like they have EA Play on Game Pass, right? They did a partnership with EA. Now they could do something similar with Ubisoft if they were to play ball, where they could maybe get their equivalent of EA Play into Game Pass, so they could play to do the same thing as EA Play, because they could feasibly do that, and I'm pretty sure Ubisoft would be okay with it.
All right, let's go ahead and picking up another one of these games. We got two left. The next one is an oldie but a goodie. Warner Brother games. Now, I know that they've been took off the shelf. They're no longer being purchased, but to me, that's bullshit. They're still definitely looking for people to purchase them. They're just not being openly public about it. I don't know if Xbox is part of that conversation. One would think maybe after they bought Bethesda, they're like, we don't need Warner Brothers. But what do you guys feel a percentage? Let's not even do a percentage on this, because I feel like everyone's going to have a similar thing. We all pretty much agree that there's slim to no chance for them buying Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
I mean, I would like to see them do it though, honestly, because they need a superhero for their platform.
I mean, it was on the table, and they approached it, and then they took it off. I guarantee you, in I'm not going to guarantee, but I'd predict in 2 years, some article will come out where they're back on the table again, because they're not making the money they thought they were going to make.
And so, when it comes to it, here's my opinion. This is why I feel like Warner Brothers is a great purchase. I don't think they're going to buy this. I think there's a 5% chance that they'd ever buy this company. But the reason I feel like they would buy this company is because of I feel like they need someone to make head-to-head fighters. They still don't have a company to take up the Killer Instinct mantle. I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that the only reason that game hasn't been made a sequel, etc., is because there's no company to make it. They need that. I feel like if they had that, they would do it. Now, I don't know. Warner Brothers, I've been told mixed things. Does Mortal Kombat come with NetherRealm's purchase? Well, Warner Brothers technically would own it, but NetherRealm makes it. Does it come with the purchase of Warner Brothers?
Even if it doesn't, NetherRealm make good fighting games. So even if NetherRealm took up
feel like
Killer Instinct, they could make a very, very good Killer Instinct, regardless if Mortal Kombat comes with it or not.
And I agree with you on that, but I do feel like Mortal Kombat being part of it or not part of it is a talking point. Because if it's not, I think that changes things. Because right now they want to bring Killer Instinct back, but I have a feeling that they don't have the option, that they don't have, you know, the studios that can make this game. Because let's be real, head-to-head fighters is a very unique type of development, and there's not a lot of people that can do that. So I feel like if they own Mortal Kombat, the first game they could come out with, that they bought this company and they got NetherRealm, is like a Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct. You know, and I feel like that game would introduce new people to the Killer Instinct brand, and then they can make the Killer Instinct game. So what do you guys think?
Who made Killer Instinct last time?
It was the people that made Extinction.
I can't remember their name.
I'm saying, because what happened to that studio? How come that studio never made a sequel? Like, where is that studio?
This is why I say this stuff is a long shot, because Microsoft owns the Killer Instinct IP, and they have yet to do anything else with that, right?
That's true.
And so I honestly don't think they are going to do. Yeah, we would like them to do it, but they don't do a lot of times what we want them to do. And that kind of crossover, yeah, that would be great, but I hate to say it, it's Microsoft. They're not going to do it because we want them to do it.
That's true. It happens like it's like those once in a blue moon type of shit where they shock you like something crazy, like, oh my god, they're doing it. Like, that's how we were when we first saw Killer Instinct first, even being brought up back with Xbox One.
Well, I mean,
we didn't see nothing.
To be fair, Fable died, and people thought Fable was done forever, and they brought Fable back.
Oh,
so.
yeah, but
it's
it's
been the worst
10
kept
years.
secret.
But
though. We've been hearing that
Fable
for the past 10 years.
It's like I said, Fable's a different scenario though. Like, you know, there's a lot of
been heard
able people that can make Fable.
I think
Fable.
The reason, if they had a studio that's good at fighting games, Killer Instinct would have been back way before now. I just don't think they have anyone who can make a fighting game.
I don't think NetherRealms can give you though.
They can't give you a Killer
the perfect
Instinct.
Killer Instinct though. To be honest, I don't think they'll do it.
There's a reason why
I think NetherRealm.
There's a reason why Capcom does Street Fighter and NetherRealm does Mortal Kombat. Both of the two could not do each other's job. They couldn't make, even if they did a crossover, that shit would come out crappy. I hate to see it, but
I don't 100% agree with that. I don't 100% agree with that. I don't play.
They will have a fighting game creator. Hope you know that, because Tekken's made by Sega.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's back.
Hold up. Do they own Tekken?
Namco Bandai, if I remember correctly, is the.
So Sega makes it. Sega makes it.
Yeah, I think Sega makes it.
That's what. Shout out to the person in the chat. That's what happened, because it was Double Helix making Killer Instinct, but then it got bought by Amazon.
Yep.
See, there you go.
So if Xbox had bought Double Helix, then
we would have had Killer Instinct for sure.
Yeah, we would have had Killer Instinct. So.
And that adds to the point too. If they want to buy Warner Bros, I don't think they'll do it.
Microsoft still owns the Killer Instinct IP.
But they don't have
they got it from Rare, remember?
Yeah, they don't have the original team.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, it's just an IP. They don't have the original team from Fable.
That's true. Yeah.
They actually hired a lot of the original team back when Playground opened up. But that's besides the fact. At the end of the day, he said Iron Galaxy did Killer Instinct 2. Apparently, he's definitely a fan of Killer Instinct. I don't know nothing about this franchise. I don't play head-to-head fighters. Thanos, dude, if I butchered your name, I definitely know I did. We're going to move past that. Tell me in the comment section or in the chat section, were they even good games? Was it worth revisiting this IP? But we're going to go ahead and move on to that, why he answers that. There's one last thing that I see a lot of people bring up. Obviously, we have a scenario a couple months, I say about 6 months ago, there's huge rumors going around that Microsoft was buying Bungie. A lot of people think that didn't end. Do you guys think that there's a possibility that they might buy Bungie? I mean,
there is. I think Bungie, and they got away because they want to do Destiny, but I think Bungie would actually. There is a world in which they could get bored. It's not an impossibility.
Part of me feels like they want to be independent because of what happened. Yeah. Then the other part of me feels like, the fact that Beyond Light was in Game Pass Ultimate, that seems like a first party thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just, obviously Bungie's independent. They need that money. So they could have easily have took that money. They took it from Stadia. Let's just go around and get a percentage from everyone. Okay, let's start with BitCloud. What's the percentage of them buying Bungie?
I don't think it's happening, honestly. I say 10% because
Okay.
just off of the way they're just off of their history, right? They left Microsoft strictly
On bad
because
terms.
they were forced to make Halo. They couldn't make what they really wanted to make, which was Destiny to begin with. And you think about it, Destiny should be an Xbox exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
everywhere. Yeah, that could have been like the biggest.
be
Xbox
honest with you,
exclusive for a while.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that it went the way it was because I honestly believe that if this happened, is issues I have with Destiny, and I have a lot of issues with Destiny. I think it would be a completely different game, maybe even for the worst if it wasn't the way this went down. So
Right.
I'm glad that that they don't own them. I'm glad that Destiny went the way it did because it did have a lot of hiccups and it had a lot of growing pains, but it is turning into a game that I enjoy, and I thoroughly enjoy playing this game. So I'm glad that happened the way it was. But we got BitCloud's percentage. J-Dub, what's the percentage you think that they're going to own the creators of Destiny and the original creators of Halo?
0.
0. Okay,
And-
you a 0 motherfucker today, aren't you?
I'm just saying,
I can't.
it's not gonna happen because why would it? They left because they wanted their freedom. Why would they want to go back and get in those
I definitely.
those binds and stuff like that? It just and listen, Bungie's doing amazing with Destiny 2. They have a huge install base, a following, and I'm a fan. I'm saying this. Not everything that comes in the Game Pass means that Microsoft is going to buy them or going to some major things behind the scenes is going on. No, this is what it costs to get it inside of Game Pass. Microsoft cut that check the same way Google cut that check. It is what it is. I don't see it happening. But what I would want to have happen, I would want Microsoft to cut that check and get Bungie to come over there and help with Halo Infinite. That's what I would want.
No.
Yeah.
I have to disagree there.
Well, I would have to disagree as well.
Well, yeah, I don't trust Bungie to help, or
It's not that I don't trust Bungie to help.
That was the
If
that
they
was the
ever,
last time
if they was
Halo
ever,
good.
if they no, I personally think Halo 5 was good. The story was lacking, but the multiplayer was amazing, and that's what I play Halo for, is the multiplayer. I love the story. I love the franchise, and I love the lore of Halo, but it's not the last defining thing that make me like Halo. Like, I thought they dropped the ball in the Halo 5 single player, and I thought it was bad. You fought the same dude multiple times. There was literally a whole chapter of talking to 3 people, but that multiplayer, I'm sorry for anyone in the chat, that was the best of the series, and that's just my opinion, and that's all the opinion that matters is my opinion, because I'm the one that bought the game. So
See, I wouldn't want.
Isn't
I wouldn't-
Halo 5 the one with the requisition points?
yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was a completely different mode. That was Warzone. That was that was
I'm about to get you,
no,
man. I'm about
you
to
didn't.
get you
You
slipped.
didn't have to do none of that. That was Warzone. I played Arena, which is the classic 4v4 Halo.
4v4, yeah.
See, Bungie. I wouldn't want them touching it because they've gone a completely different direction. Like when they were in charge of Halo, it was great, amazing. But the way 343 is changing up Halo, they could make it into better than what it was. Obviously, 4, they had a good campaign, messed up the multiplayer. 5, messed up the campaign, amazing multiplayer. So hopefully with Infinite, they could bring the 2 together, and then off they sail on a happy, merry train. Let Bungie play around with Destiny and whatnot, and just, I'm happy with that. Just, I wouldn't want Bungie going near Halo again.
But we already saw what they did with Halo Infinite already. I mean,
Look, man, all we saw was a demo. Game got delayed a whole year. We got to see the finished product. We can't stop acting like we see the whole game because we did it. Like,
let me.
Hold on. Let me talk real
what
quick
we
before you
saw-
go on your slander. Let me talk real quick before you go on your slander. J-Dub, I have like 6 videos talking smack about this game. I am foremost upset what 343 is doing with this franchise. I have multiple videos talking about the disappointment I have, and you can see it in my, you can hear it in my voice, you can see it in my face. But at the end of the day, I've said in every one of those videos, I'm a huge Halo fan, and I just want what's best for the franchise. They delayed it a year. I have to take it. I have to take it from there. I have to say, okay, you delayed it a year. It clearly needed to be delayed for a year. So I have to see what the actual product is at the end of the year. And until I see at the end of the year,
a slap to the face, though. You think about it, bro. Because remember, they knew it had to be delayed. It wasn't finished yet. They still showed you that incomplete bullshit. Like
that game was supposed to come
I
out
completely
in
understand
months.
that. And if you want to go at that, by all means, go at that. Don't buy the game. I understand. You got to see the product. That's perfectly fine. But they delayed the game. That's all that matters, because they didn't. Because I honestly 100% thought they were going to let that game sacrifice. It was going to be, I need an Xbox Series X launch title. Halo's going to be sacrificed to the gaming gods. I thought that's what was going to happen.
Though. I think it probably was the plan. That's why they showed it.
And I think it was the plan either. But at the end of the day, it hurt them a lot to delay that game. Yeah. It's on the back of the box, for God's sake. Like, they had every intention on launching that, but guess what? They did it.
All the main trailers.
So we'll have to see what happens when the game comes out, because I myself very nervous about Halo, but I'm going to at least give it an opportunity, and I'm going to see what exactly happens. I personally feel like 343 hasn't completely dropped the ball when it comes to Halo. They've messed up some portions of the game. I think Halo 4, they messed up the multiplayer to Halo 4, and they got the single player. They hit it out of the park, and I think the vice versa for the Halo 5. But at the end of the day, they didn't bomb both. So I honestly thought they had a slam dunk. They put that Halo 5 multiplayer, they do some life change tweaks on it, and they put that Halo 4 single player, they do whatever they need to continue it to the future, and they slapped that shit together, and they had the perfect Halo. But they didn't do none of that. They decided to do this Destiny nonsense. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to talk shit about it until I see it going on, but I understand, J-Dub. Continue.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, that was their baby, their bread and butter, and we saw how that turned out. And let's face it, that game was scheduled to launch within 3 months of them showing us what they showed us. So let's not act like, well, there was still time to do this. No, it wasn't.
That game was definitely going to come out hot. Yeah. And I think that if you want to, what's the word I'm looking for? If you want to compare that to something that would happen like now, I would say the best analogy that could have happened in that game, which, we don't know. We will never know what exactly that game would have launched at if they wouldn't have delayed it. And I think everyone that was on Twitter saying this ain't it, delay it. Yeah. I think everyone, because they saved Halo. They did, because I honestly think we might have got something similar to Cyberpunk if that game came out on time. And I'm glad it got delayed. I'm glad that Xbox is willing to take that hit, because let's be real here, Xbox did not want to delay that. That was a huge hit in the head, but they knew they knew that they could not get away with that in any way, shape, or form. And they're like, look, Craig is lit in these streets. We got to delay this and make sure Craig got some textures on his face. This man got to have skin on his face, because we ain't never going to live if Craig is in this game in 3 months.
We'll have to wait to see what the results of their hard work is, but I trust. You know what? I'm gonna go out there and say it. I trust 343 to pull this off. I'm gonna throw him the bone.
Okay, I'm gonna say the opposite, and I'm gonna tell you why. Only because they have all the power at their disposal when it comes to the hardware to do what it is they need to do, and that is what they delivered us. There was no other reasoning for that game to turn out that way. Somebody had to be the director of Halo, whoever that is. I don't know if it's Bunny Ross or whoever. Somebody had to say, "Hey, this shit isn't looking good, so we need to do this," and they didn't at that time. They did.
I'm not going to state what was said and what was not said. We don't have any idea what was said.
But Addict, 1 year, not even a complete 1 year, but some months. Close to, let's say, call it a year. It's not enough time for them to give it a all new graphics overhaul, and the stuff that people were complaining about was basically the graphics.
It would be that they would have enough time. They would have enough time to polish it up, because if you looked at the because now they're doing a monthly dev blog for Infinite, and they released screenshots of
Listen,
some
yeah.
of in-game actual models and textures, and the guns are looking a hell of a lot better. The graphics are looking better. So I mean,
can I say something when it comes to screenshots? Every single game ever released has attractive screenshots released, right? But then once you see the gameplay, that's what we need to see. Until we see gameplay actually showing us these screenshots looking their brightest, I'm just gonna wait, right? I'm gonna wait for judgment on that. I hope they can pull it off. I hope the game comes out great.
I will, if this game comes out and it's like, I will give you 85 and below. If it's 85 and above, considering what I've seen, I consider that a W. I know you're going to not consider that a W because
85 for Halo is a W because
no, I'm saying
Halo
85 above. We're not going that
84.
far. Okay, if this game's an 85 below, I give you permission. I give you the keys. The keys, J-Dub. You have the keys. You could tag me in everything you could think of. I'll give you up for 24 hours because after 24 hours, you're being unfollowed. But I give you the keys. You're able to do all that. That's fine.
Right. Yeah, I think the game is going to get a solid 85. Listen, even if they would have released the game in the state that they released it, they would have released it in. The game was going to get an 80 just because of the namesake and just because the multiplayer. Let's face it, it would have got those type of reviews. Now, Microsoft at that time, right? Even at this time, they're still struggling to get some decent rated IPs out there. And so Halo is your biggest game. There's no other game for you bigger than Halo. So you have to make sure that this game is done right. Because if this game is done wrong, it's going to be hell to pay. It's going to be hell to pay.
I'm thinking Halo will come out closer to, if they nail the story, it's going to be a 90. It's going to be close to the 90 mark because the multiplayer was praised for 5. So all they have to do is improve the multiplayer, because the multiplayer will be fine. So basically, rip the multiplayer from 5 because it's highly acclaimed. People love it. So take that, update it, change it up. Not too much hard work. Then just focus the story. If the story's killer, reviewers are gonna go nuts for it because the story will it'll make the game.
I'll be honest. I don't think Halo until the end of the time, just because it's an old franchise, it's really hard to get an old franchise to do what it did originally. Now, unless this is a remake, right? Kind of like what they did to God of War. They basically threw the previous games away, right? And they kind of almost started from scratch.
No, the God of War, 2018 God of War isn't the other games are scratched. It's still in the game.
No. They paid some homage to the previous games, but it was a brand new game. It literally was a brand new game. But Halo,
he has the blades. It's clearly after 3. It's still in the story.
So you didn't hear exactly what I just said. I just said they paid homage by having the blades there. That's homage to the previous games.
Big
but
Cloud,
Halo, right? Halo Infinite is not starting from scratch.
Okay, hold on. Big Cloud, is God of War 2018 in the same realm that the 1, 2, and 3 in Ascension in Chain Olympics was? It's supposed to be afterwards.
It's after, like, in terms of story, it's after those.
Yeah, because Athena, like, Zeus is still dead.
Remember,
like,
basically what they're saying is in the new one, a whole decade, a whole new generation has passed since the gods. Now we're in Northic gods. And, they kind of already hinted that he's already still dealing with his past, with Athena showing up in a cameo in the game. Remember in the boat scene, Kratos?
Yep.
I mean, Jada.
Yep.
He's still dealing with it, but however, his actions still are determining, his future.
Future.
Yeah, it's kind of like, he's kind of like a plague, a walking plague. Notice, like, no joke. Because
we saw the end game, right? Remember at the end
mm-hmm.
when they made it to the top of the mountain and Atreus was going, he saw their story already played out. So
yeah, he knows what happens. Well, he doesn't know that his father pretty much is doomed.
Well,
but
he did, yeah,
he's-
but-
yeah, because that's what Kratos saw. Kratos like, yep, we're almost at the end. He
But
saw.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite is a soft they did say it's a soft reboot. That's why it's, it's not like a number. It's not a numbered Halo. That's
How
why
many
it's
times
called.
can you soft
You
reboot
can
this
change
game
the
though, bro?
name.
It
Yeah.
hasn't been soft reboot. Well, Halo
How many
4.
times can you push
wasn't
this
a-
shit like that?
What are you
Well,
talking
you
about?
can, because you could take it to a different timeline and story. Like,
That's not, yeah.
All
like,
right, hold on.
When I
What
say, when I
are
say
we-
a reboot, right? Like God of War changed a whole. It's nothing like what the original was, right? They
Yeah.
changed
Yeah, but-
the camera. They changed. They basically brought a slasher into a like a cinematic
me-
movie type thing.
To me, I understand where you're coming from there, but I don't think there's too many franchises that can do what God of War did. God of War was in a completely different genre, just about, and it worked for what it could do. Like people say, oh, they want Gears to do something like God of War. Like, are we gonna make it like a first-person shooter? Like, are we gonna make it like an RPG? Are we gonna make it like an open world? They tried all that. No one liked it. You know what's funny? Hold on, let me rant real quick. Who's gonna talk? Stop it. How is it that people say they didn't like Gears 5? They said it was too much like Gears. The game needed to change. We need more than just Gears. But then Hivebusters comes out, and the same people that said that is like, this Gears is amazing. You know why Gears Hivebusters is amazing, Death? And you know why I asked Death? Because I don't want to input the other two. You know why they liked Hivebusters, Death?
She gave
Why?
Because it's more like Gears than Gears 5 was. Damn it, I've said my rant.
but no, what I was saying was.
Gears 5 props though. I reviewed that. It was good. Gears 5 was
See,
fun.
what I could see with Halo is, what people are mistaken is, they think Halo's a one-track story. The universe is so expanded. There's stories untold. There's entire books and volumes of stuff that no one knows about that happens in the Halo universe. Like, some people went out on the limb and said the bad guy in Infinite would be Aatrox from Halo Wars 2, which would be fire. But that's a story never been told by any Halo game. So yes, it would still be a first-person shooter, but the entire premise of the game will be completely different from any other Halo before it. Like, look at 4. That was dealing with the whole Prometheans and all that kind of stuff. None of that existed through Halo 1 through Reach. So they changed up the story. So they could just go into one of these books and just rip the story out and put it on the page, and there we go. And if they say we want to make it episodic, where they, over the 10 years, they release more story content, they could just go, right, we've added this book to the game, let's add this book to the game, because the universe is so massive, beyond Master Chief and the Covenant. Like, so they could do it. They could change it up to the point where it's no longer, Chief has to save the Earth. Chief and Cortana running around. They can go past that.
Well, I'm one of those people that feel like the old crowd, the people that really love the Halo and stuff, like, those people are the minority now. Like, you need to bring some of the new crowd into the story. Now, you're only going to be able to bring the new crowd with a new approach to the game. I know you're going to piss off the old heads, right? The old people, but unless you try, you're just going to be stagnant. You're going to be stagnant. So that's
they could bring new people in by introducing a really nice villain like Aatrox. Like, Aatrox appeals to people, but not many people know who he is because either they haven't played Halo Wars 2,
Aatrox is a badass.
or not many people have played that game, so they have no idea who he is. They've never read the books, probably, so they have no idea who this guy is. So
no one's a better enemy than Craig, sir.
One of the things that, like, we're about to end this here in a little bit. Just this one last statement, then we'll go ahead and close up. I think the biggest thing that I like about Microsoft, like, even if they buy Sega, if they buy Ubisoft, even if they buy them all, I want them to stick what they have now, and I want them to, define what they have instead of expanding, because I feel like if you expand too quick, stuff's going to get lost in the cracks. I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. Clearly, I don't run a multi-trillion-dollar company, but, I like that they own these companies and that they, with the Bethesda coming on and, the initiative, which is the complete other story there. We ain't going to go into that. With Rare with Sea of Thieves, I know a lot of people don't like it, but apparently it's doing well. I think one of the biggest things that I like about all of this, these studios coming together, is there for years Microsoft would rely on Halo, Gears, and Forza. And if the game needed to be delayed, sometimes they were like, sit it out, man. Like, that's the only game we got. Like, we can't delay that. Like, what do you expect? We can't go another year without a game. Like, but now I feel like with them having the Bethesda stuff and they having, the Compulsion, the Ninja Theory, and they all working on a couple games, I feel like now if 343 came to them like, yo, we need to delay this a year, it's not gonna be like, well, what do we have? Like, do we have any games for like the next 6 months? No, you're just gonna have to do it, man. Like, you're gonna have to do this. But now I feel like if they came to them with the same scenario now, it's going to be a little different story. It's like, okay, we got this game coming out in 3 months. We have this game coming out in 6 months. We don't have to rely on one game. Like, I personally, I know a lot of people love Halo, and I love Halo. But I think after this Bethesda thing has stamped and they own that, I think Elder Scrolls is their most popular brand at that point. Like, and I'm 100% behind that.
That's true, but Addict, I'm going to tell you this, right? And let me put my fanboy hat back on, because this is what people are going to say. People are going to say this, and I'm already hearing it. Well, Bethesda was already established. I mean, just because you buy it, you really don't get credit for buying something that was already there, right? Just because you slap your Microsoft Studio symbol on it. Microsoft doesn't get credit because Microsoft don't nurture their own studios. They always buy.
Microsoft has been
competition.
Microsoft has been nurturing Bethesda for years. It's just been done behind closed doors. They helped them make Morrowind. They literally went down and helped them make Morrowind because there was some mad crashes. Like that's why a lot of their games run so much better on the Xbox, because they've been such a close. Sure, they haven't owned them, but you know what? Up until a point, Sony didn't own half the damn studios they've been making they shit too. They didn't own Naughty Dog. They didn't own Guerrilla. They bought those companies, but I get that. But they got to do it eventually. Like here's my issue with you, J-Dub. I'm not saying Big Cloud because I'm aiming at you, J-Dub. You can't say that we need this, we need that, and then like I get it. Sony don't have the money to do stuff like this, and I hate that for them. But guess what? No, everyone always told for this entire damn generation, people was like, Microsoft's one of the richest companies in the world. Why are they getting manhandled by Sony like this? Well, guess what? At the end of the generation, Microsoft heard you. Microsoft came out and was like, this ain't happening next generation. Oh, Bethesda, yeah, how much? 7.5? Oh man, that's in our piggy bank. Here you go. Let me have that. Oh, you want bought into 2 Ninja Theory? All right, that was their game. Here, let me have that. Like, you can't have both ways, J-Dub. Like, I get it. I get it. They didn't nurture these studios. They didn't do none of that. They didn't do none of this. They hit the skip button, man. They hit the shortcut on the battlefronts. They hit the shortcut on the battlefields. They didn't fly that ship around for 30 minutes to get all the attachments. They bought the money and skipped the line. I can't help that for you, J-Dub.
Listen, I agree with you. But to be fair, again, just playing devil's advocate, Bethesda, not Bethesda, but Bethesda, is known for putting out some janky stuff and fixing it later 10 years down the line, So I don't know. Kudos to them. I hope that all works out. I hope we get some great games out of them.
See. Here's where you mess. That's Bethesda Game Studios that's put out the buggy messes. If you look at, let's take the people who did Prey, the people that did Dishonored, the people that do Doom, the people that made Wolfenstein, they came out with clean games that people like. So the only one that's putting out buggy is Bethesda's own game studio. So,
but he just started naming a bunch of buggy games that got that name from. He named that, He said the Morrowind and the other stuff,
Besides that, just those like. Besides that, I mean, they're set up now with put the fanboy hat on. Yeah. The Xbox is now set up to where they completely dominate the Western RPG market now, and they're gonna go ham. But despite what people think about Bethesda, I mean, people, if they really want to play Elder Scrolls, go buy an Xbox or build yourself a PC. It is what it is. It's the same mantra Sony's been saying for like the entire last gen. You want it, go buy a PlayStation.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
so it's just gonna be one of those things.
Here's a good question though. Since you brought that up, are we so certain that Microsoft is going to pass on all that money that they could be making from PlayStation, from 120, 130, 40 million installed fan base, basically the largest console install base? Do you think Microsoft's going to pass on all that revenue and all that money?
I can see it.
I think they will.
I can see it because if you look at their last earnings call, they put double, but 2 Bethesdas in the bank, pure cash.
Wait.
That's just off 1 quarter. They put double Bethesdas. They don't need Sony to make back their money.
Wait. Let me correct you on that. Microsoft did with Microsoft other companies. Xbox did not generate.
But
Xbox itself did not. I get it. They have. Hold on, I'm going to give you credit for that, right? I get it. Microsoft raked in enough money with all their other ventures, the cloud, the Microsoft Office, and other businesses. But we're talking about Xbox, and I get it. Microsoft make the money, but the Xbox division itself. And a lot of people talk like the Xbox division itself made that money. No, they did not.
But
there's a reason Microsoft merged the Xbox division with the cloud service and software subscription service such as Office 365 and stuff like in Windows and stuff like that. It's so you can merge it together and hide your losses and stuff like that. Now, neither here or there. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just explaining how this stuff works.
Yes.
Now, until they start saying what the revenue is specifically for the Xbox division, we'll never know. But one thing we do know, as of the numbers that came out last night, is PlayStation division. The PlayStation, not Sony, but the PlayStation division, raked in the most amount of money of.
Did they give us those numbers?
Console. They gave us the numbers. It was actually $20 billion. And they didn't do it just once, but they did it twice. They're the only company in history to rake in not only the profits, not only the revenue, but they matched the predecessor, which is the PlayStation 4, which was one of the highest or the fastest selling at that particular time. Anyway, they're breaking all kind of freaking records, right? And they don't have the money that they only have a smidgen of what Sony only has a smidgen of what Microsoft, the corporation, has, right, as far as revenue. So that $7.5 billion is nothing to Microsoft. It really is really nothing. But the proof is in the pudding. I hope everything that Bethesda put out is great. I still don't think that Microsoft is just going to make everything exclusive because, again, Microsoft, they're buying this stuff not because they love us gamers, but they're doing it because they like to make money. They want to make money. Sony, Nintendo, they're all to make money. And by not having access to 120, 140 million install base, if you include the PS5.
We can't.
Hold on. I have to go at this because I've been waiting for a good solid 10 minutes. Right? See, here's where you messed up. Microsoft bought Bethesda, not Xbox. Microsoft. Now, Microsoft is pushing what service right now? Game Pass.
Yes.
Now, is Game Pass on PlayStation?
No.
So they want all these games in Game Pass. So where is Game Pass not on PlayStation? So of course they ain't gonna care because they're trying to push Game Pass.
Turned it down. Yeah.
Right. So wherever Game Pass is, Xbox and Microsoft are gonna follow. That's Satya's baby. He's going straight in on Game Pass. He loves his services.
But that's what he says.
He's the.
So we can listen to Jim Lion Ryan. Okay, continue.
I'm just saying that's what he's saying.
All right, we ain't going too much into that.
He said this. Didn't they say the same thing about Mixer?
Lord.
Didn't they say the same thing about
Ninja? They
about
did,
buying
yeah.
Ninja and all these Twitch streaming. Didn't they say the same thing about Bean?
Mhm.
What did
Wait,
they say?
didn't they say
Like,
the same
I'm
thing
still.
about Zune and everything else? I
Thing
mean,
is-
we've heard
thing-
this before. It's all
But the thing is, you don't spend 7.5 billion to give the games to your competition. You don't care about that. You're spending that money for the long run, and the long plan is Game Pass. So that is what
they
this
said.
like.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Well, hold
I
on.
agree.
Let me address someone. Nick, you in the chat. I've let you run wild all podcasts. I'm gonna need you to be. You're gonna stop being so disrespectful because you bots are so delusional. What are you doing here? I will block you so quick. It's not even funny. And you can sit there and claim that you don't care and this and that. Guess what? You care enough to be in here listening to it. So it's okay if you want to say no. Don't act like that's not being. You sitting there and call me senile pretty much. Like, no, stop that. Stop that. All right. I'll do it, man. Like, I don't
we're just
care.
joking,
You don't
guys.
need
We're
to
just
be in my
joking.
damn
We're just
chat, fam. You don't need to be. You can sit there, you can go in a block seat with everyone else, man. You're not hurting my feelings. I don't want someone like you in my chat any damn way. Continue.
Either way, the thing is, PlayStation guys are hoping that the games come to their console because they don't want to have to go out and buy an Xbox. Let's be real. But
No, we got
Microsoft,
PC. We got PC. They got PC.
Yeah, PCs.
well, I mean, okay, so okay, if they have PCs, it doesn't affect them.
Jay can vouch for mine. I can vouch for his.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, that is. Yeah, I can vouch for them. They have PCs apparently.
Well, I guess
See,
they could. See, Jade, I'm say, look. I have to go with what I hear. It sounds like Big Cloud's on a PC talking to us. I don't know if you on like a GoPro or something, Jade, but you ain't definitely not on a PC.
Oh man.
But you see, that's the thing. They hope it comes to their console, but more than likely, they spent this money and was like, we need content to push Game Pass. So they now have.
Let's go through the bullshit. The Xbox, the future of purchasing an Xbox for any of these said titles is not going up, even if with these purchases, it's going to go straight to PC. Everybody's going to just buy into PCs. That's what they're going to do.
See,
That's not true. That's not true. Hold up, Des.
PC.
Hang on, no,
Let me talk. Like, look, sure, there might be a certain percentage of people that are going to PC, but we ain't gonna sit here and act like every Xbox owner right now. That's
Well,
like
not every.
no,
but I'm
you
saying a lot
literally
of these
acting.
dudes-
No,
There's a
Big
handful
Cloud.
of them.
You didn't say a lot of these dudes. You didn't say some of these dudes. Your ass sat there and acted like everyone is going to PC. We ain't gonna act like you didn't act like that. All right, look,
Hey,
there
don't
are
act
gonna
like
be
they were
some
already
people.
at that
Hold
price
up.
hike.
There
Don't
are
act like they were
there
already.
are gonna be people that go to PC because guess what? They had a PC any damn way. But there are gonna be a lot of people that are looking at that as like, damn. Now I gotta get
Yo.
an Xbox because I want to buy Bethesda
Yo,
and they don't mess with
Hey,
PC.
hey,
We can't act like that ain't happening.
This defense is losing power.
It's not a
No,
defense.
no,
It's not a
deflating.
defense.
Bro,
How is it? No. Hold up.
For the PC. She's
Hold
gone.
up.
Is
Ev-
the worst running version of the multiplayer.
No, we ain't gonna sit here and
So
act like
that is
timed
another
exclusives
reason
on
they won't
PlayStation is okay, but Microsoft buys so
not.
publishers, and that's not
We're not.
doing anything. We ain't gonna act like that. You know what?
It's
We're just gonna
okay.
end this. We're gonna
Hang
end
on,
this.
hang on, no. I got one last thing. I have a question for J-Dub.
What's up, brother?
I have a question for J-Dub and BitCloud.
Go
Would
ahead, brother.
Sony make more money if they put their games on PC and Xbox, their first-party games?
Obviously,
Would they
yes.
make more money? Yeah, they would. Anything
So
on top of
why?
PlayStation.
So why don't they?
Because they
don't
in the
need to.
business. Hold on.
Because
Because
they
they're
don't
in the
need
business
to.
of selling you hardware.
So
Their
then
bread
why?
and butter.
Right.
Hold on. Their bread and butter is to sell you hardware along with the services, along
So-
with the
so
games, right?
Microsoft-
Phil Spencer said himself. Now it's not just me saying that, but Phil Spencer said himself. We don't care if you buy the hardware. We just want you to play wherever you want
But
to play.
I can
That's
literally,
Phil Spencer.
I can literally take this gun that you just try to shoot me with, called what Sony's bread and butter is, and take that, reload that bitch, and shoot it right back at you. Hey J-Dub, what is Microsoft's bread and butter? What's Xbox bread and butter right now? What is it?
A service.
What is
A
it?
service.
Well, what's the service, J-Dub? What's the service?
Game Pass.
Is Game Pass on PlayStation, J-Dub?
No, they
Ironically,
Okay, there you
they're on
go.
PlayStation.
Phil Spencer said they actually said that they went approach Nintendo and Sony about putting Game Pass.
Yeah, they want it on
He
there.
said, she said, she said. It doesn't matter what it said. It's not on there, J-Dub. Stop deflecting my my question with a question.
So if you're a PlayStation gamer and you want to play these games,
I got a PC.
but they're not coming. No, for the PlayStation only gamers out there, which there are tons.
Get a PlayStation. I got a PlayStation.
No,
That's
all the PlayStation owners out there. If you only solely play on PlayStation and you want to play these games and they don't come to your console, blame your own people for not wanting Game Pass on their service, and that's what you gotta do.
Well, let me ask you this.
Why would we blame them when we can get it cheaper on PC?
If these Bethesda games do come to PlayStation and Nintendo and the PC and Xbox, if they do go everywhere, right? Then what will we be saying then? What would be the excuse or argument then? Because
there won't be, but we don't know what the situation is because you don't spend that amount of money.
Listen, you spend that
we
money
don't know.
Because you want to make the money back. That's why you spend the money.
They already made the money back.
But so you don't agree?
They're not making.
Hold up. So we can't agree. It would have been cheaper for them to do like PlayStation did with Ghostwire and whatever the hell that other game's called. So it would have been. It wouldn't have been cheaper just to do that on a bigger scale than spend $7.5 billion on the whole company.
Yeah, they probably.
So why didn't they just do that?
Right.
No idea.
See now this
narrative. Right? You got to think about it. If this shit goes sideways with Game Pass, right? If all this shit goes sideways, and Microsoft is known, they're like the Google 2.0 in this in counseling shit, right? If this shit goes sideways, they can always bundle it up, patch it, bundle it up together. Hey, here's a let's call it $10 billion piece of real estate. I'm just using those terms, but of real estate of gaming. Someone wants to buy this, guess what? You got Amazon, you got Google, you got anybody else that's willing to poach them and buy that. If this stuff goes sideways, right? It goes sideways.
Here's the double down. For one, the Game Pass numbers are only increasing, so it's clearly not going sideways. It's working.
3 million in a year?
That's an increase, is it not? That's not a decrease.
No, you're right. You're right. It is an increase, but this is also another.
J-Dub expected to go completely different way before.
Listen. 3 million Game Pass subscriptions.
Like your mind's not catching up with your mouth, man. I understand.
And check this out. In the same amount of time, Sony has 18 million increase in its subscribers, right? So you have to look at stuff like that, right? 18 million versus 3 million, right? So when you start talking about numbers, I'm starting to compare them, and it just doesn't look that too much attractive.
But then you look at it, and it's like 3 million. But bear in mind, all these big games haven't come out for Game Pass yet. Once all these huge games start hitting Game Pass,
when? That's what we need to know. When?
Right.
People are saying 2 to 3 years, right? By that time, right? Let's face it. 2 to 3 years from now, Sony is going to be so far ahead. They're probably already here now, but nobody is looking around the corner over there. They're moving forward with.
Go ahead. Here's another thing. They need to make their money back. The last call, they just doubled what they already made. Microsoft already made the $7 billion they paid out. Wait. Microsoft, again, you're not listening. Microsoft made back the money that they spent, right? Because of the company's overall revenue that they have coming in, not because that's all they care. Yeah, but that's
Xbox. They do care about individual companies. If Xbox is the cost of the money, trust me, they're gonna care. But they are breeding money. But the thing is these investments wasn't made for short term; they're made for long term, and that's what's put into it.
Even though Xbox didn't make the same money Sony made, they're still profitable. Because if you look at how much they made, when they stacked.
Look, we ain't talking. Look, we ain't going in circles. No.
Microsoft is profitable. Xbox, they won't even tell you. So.
We ain't going in circles. We literally talked about this like 20 minutes ago.
My man said, I like to know where Sony games are. So you're getting Horizon this year, Ratchet and Clank this year, Deathloop. God of War.
Until I see release dates, I don't see nothing. But we're gonna end this.
Gran Turismo 7.
What are we talking about there? Platinum. What are we talking about, bro? Where are your games at, sir?
We are going to end this on a good note. Okay, we're not gonna attack my chat. Okay. Look,
I mean,
the
if we're
chat.
gonna end this on a good note, we gotta say it together. We gotta say friendship.
Look, man.
This whole
I
hand.
think
This whole
Platt
hand.
is talking about right now. I think Platt is talking about right now. Okay. He wants. Look. Let's. Look, Platt. You don't buy games for stuff that's happening right now. You buy games for stuff that's a roadmap. And PlayStation has given that roadmap. Now I will say there's no release dates on any of that shit. It's just Windows. So all that is subjected to be pushed back unless I act like God of War is coming out in 2020 because it's not. I mean 2021. I do think that you should own a PlayStation. You're gonna want to play God of War. You got to have a PlayStation. So regardless if you picked it up now or then, you're gonna have to have a PlayStation. And the way it's looking like, you're not gonna be able to get a PlayStation anytime soon if you don't have one. So you're gonna get one probably when it comes out.
But Addict, answer me and J-Dub's question. But do you need an Xbox in the foreseeable future?
You don't, but apparently if you wait 2 years, you won't need a PlayStation either. So, look, at the end of the day,
Addict can't lie to you, dog. He gonna tell you don't need an Xbox in the foreseeable future.
You don't, but at the end of the day, there is a thing as a console gamer or a PC gamer. And look, I tried the PC stuff. I was in the PC where I jumped straight in there, man. I did the...
You're on there 24/7 with me and the guys.
Nah,
what are you
man.
talking about? We always go on PC.
I'm done with that nonsense.
On PC.
I play 80% of my games on Xbox now.
I signed the contract for PlayStation, but I'm saying I'm on PC.
Look, then you're biased and you're corrupted. You signed the contract. I don't believe anyone that signs contracts. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and end the show, man. I definitely appreciate everyone coming through. J-Dub, where can they catch you? Okay, J-Dub's not here. Where can they catch you, BitCloud Gaming?
I'm here.
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Cloud Gaming. There you go.
Okay, where can they catch you, J-Dub?
Hey, you guys can find me on Twitter at JDubCity16. You can also catch me on YouTube streaming my games at JDub4U.
What about you, Death Singer? What are you doing these days?
You can find me even on PSN right now.
There you go, my man.
Space Death Singer, And you can find me everywhere, Twitter, Steam, Xbox.
And you can find him on every podcast you could think of because he always be showing up somewhere.
I only show up on Scumcast, it is what it is.
You show up on RGT, sir. Don't even try.
Yeah, I show up there because, I have to jump into the den of the ponies to show the Xbox has, Xbox has
You gotta
fang.
defend how dead it is,
Hey, that's my man. We be going at it all the time. He's always there with me, neck and neck, man.
But definitely appreciate everyone coming through. We're gonna go wrap this up. Definitely went a little bit longer. I knew I shouldn't have invited BitCloud. I knew I shouldn't have, but it's all right. We're moving fast forward. We'll see you guys at the next Addict show, whenever the hell that might be. I don't know. But I appreciate